Number 11. P-Police. In April 2018, an underage woman in Florida was taken into custody by the cops after a call came in that she was drunk driving near the local high school. When police arrived at the scene, they found 20-year-old McCall LeDuc drunk out of her mind, resting on a curb. Luckily, she had enough sense about her to stop driving and park her car by a fire station too. While the cops searched her vehicle, they found a whole bottle of vodka and some marijuana inside. They then arrested McCall for possession and for underage drinking. But here's where the story heats up. When the police went to check on her in the back of the squad car, she had somehow gotten out of the cuffs. Then something did not smell right, and they noticed McCall had peed in the back seat. Not only that, the cops say she spread it all around the seats. It must have been a heck of a cleanup job for some sorry cop. McCall was held in jail on a bond of $2,250. Number 10. Save the Possums. It's no secret that we should be trying harder to save animals. As a result of human interaction, environments around the world are getting destroyed along with the lives of countless innocent animals. But we also have to recognize when some creatures are beyond the point of saving. Take one drunk creature, for example, 55-year-old Donald Wolf. After getting heavily drunk one day in 2010, Donald went outside to get some fresh air. But not long after, police found him at about 3 p.m. in the middle of Pittsburgh. What was he doing, you ask? Well, Donald was trying to give mouth-to-mouth to a possum. A dead possum. He was trying to bring the little guy back to life. One witness to the scene said it was like Wolf was conducting some kind of seance while kneeling down next to the critter. As strange as it seems, this isn't a crime in and of itself, but public drunkenness can be, so Donald was taken into custody. It must have been a pretty jarring sight to see a grown man give CPR to a dead rodent, since the cops wrote down, quote, "Society" on their police report as the victim of the crime. Number 9. Jack Sparrow. A 51-year-old woman named Allison Whalen had been out with a friend of hers on a 2-day bender. During this time, she had consumed nightshade after getting drunk, and if you don't know, nightshade is poisonous and can cause hallucinations. While under this influence, Allison channeled her inner pirate and stole a passenger ferry from a nearby dock. The 45-foot or just under 14-meter boat rammed into nearby ships as she declared, quote, "I'm Jack Sparrow." Allison rowed up the river, hitting things on the way. When police arrived on the scene, she just made fun of them, asking what they could do, and saying it was out of their jurisdiction. It took over 30 cops, a Coast Guard crew, and paramedics team to stop her. Finally, she was arrested, and her short-lived pirate career came to an end. Number 8. Drunk to the touch. You've probably seen someone acting like a completely different person after a few drinks. That liquid courage can drive people to do the craziest things they'll regret after sobering up. A viral video from 2009 featured on the popular site Barstool Sports showed a young woman experiencing this exact phenomena. With over 3 million views, the young girl is shown getting arrested in the clip, but that's not all she's doing. The blonde woman is wearing a white shirt and red pants and seems to be enjoying the process. While the cop tries his best to put handcuffs on her, she sticks her butt up against him in a disturbingly sexual manner. She then continues the lewd gestures and says inappropriate comments like, "Ah yeah, you like that? You like that?" End quote. The poor cop did his best to ignore the outright advancements and called for help and backup. We don't know what she did to initially get arrested, but her actions probably indicate that she was drunk. She may now also face some sexual harassment charges too. Number 7. Lawnmower Man. Mowing the lawn isn't as bad as it used to be. Now that there's a rideable mower instead of the old push ones, it can actually kind of be fun. But in the end, mowers are for mowing lawns, and that's about it. Most people would agree with this, unless you're 48-year-old Paul Burke and you've had quite a few drinks. One evening in August 2020, after having a few too many, Paul took his mower off the lawn and onto the street and then onto the highway. It didn't take long for police to show up and pull him over. When the policeman talked to Burke, he told them he'd been drinking, which was already quite obvious. Paul went on to say that he was just driving around and was on his way home. When the deputy asked to do a sobriety test, Paul refused, saying that there was no point. He asked if the cop could just give him a ticket, but they couldn't just do that. He was arrested and taken to jail. The mower man was charged with DUI and had his license suspended, so it looks like Paul won't be cutting the grass for a while. Would you rather walk or ride a lawnmower down the freeway? Which one is more stupid? Tell us in the comments and hit subscribe while you're at it. Number 6, all bark, no bite. One night in 2015, 23-year-old Bradley Bly was drinking one night when he saw a police dog in a vehicle. Cops say that the car was clearly marked, but in his drunken state, this didn't seem to faze Bradley. At 1:45 a.m., close to the California University of Pennsylvania, the human man barked at the dog. When the animal started barking back, Bradley continued, which made the dog get even more worked up. He started barking like crazy, as if he was saying, quote, "Hey officers, whose human is this?" End quote. Cops arrested the intoxicated man for public drunkenness as well as cruelty to animals, which seems a little extreme, but hey, some people need to learn their lesson, and it definitely wasn't the dog in this case. Number 5, Walmart Joyride. Walmart is a great place to shop if you need cheap groceries. You just have to look past the kind of people you might see though when you go into the store. We're not saying anyone who shops here is strange, but you can't argue there's a striking amount of oddballs at Walmart. In May 2022, while most shoppers went about their business, a man terrorized his Walmart on a drunken joyride. His vehicle of choice? A motorized cart. Shoppers say the man was acting downright belligerent, drinking out of items in his cart, eating potato salad and a sandwich, then just tossing his garbage on the shelves as he passed them. Walmart decided not to prosecute him though, since the items he consumed inside the store didn't cost more than $25. Despite this, he was still arrested on some minor misdemeanors. He was charged with public drunkenness and public indecency. The man was also told he'd be arrested if he ever returned to any Walmart property. Even in Walmart, you can't just do whatever you want. Number 4, Live Más. Food can taste so much better after a few drinks, especially fast food like McDonald's or Taco Bell. But here's the thing, if you've been drinking, let somebody else get the food for you. Luckily, nowadays there's all kinds of food delivery services, so it's not hard to get it, even if you're wasted. Gabriel Harris didn't do that though. At 3 in the morning back in 2014, he decided to ride his bike to Taco Bell. This was after a few cocktails. The restaurant was right about to close, so they wouldn't take any more orders despite Harris desperately begging. When he wouldn't take no for an answer anymore, the restaurant employees called the police. They said the drunk man had a Swiss Army knife on him. When cops showed up to assess the situation and try to take Harris's knife away, he grabbed at the cop. Eventually, they were able to arrest him and take him downtown, where Harris posed for one of the saddest looking mugshots we've ever seen. The man has the biggest frown on his face, with pouted eyebrows and a pretty decent cut on his forehead. It also seems fitting that his hair was the same color as a Baja Blast. Number 3, Cake Boss. In the early 2000s, there was a hit TV show on TLC called Cake Boss. It featured the owner of the bakery, Buddy Valastro, as well as his family, and it showed their process in making intricate cake designs and other sweet pastries. The show was a massive success and gathered attention from people all across the country. As an act of good faith and as a good way to further promote the business, in 2013, Carlos Bakery held an event at Market Square in Pittsburgh where they gave out 10,000 free cakes to fans and locals. All people had to do was wait in line and they'd get a delicious cake. Seems like a wholesome, simple event, right? Well, things went wrong, otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it. A man named William Davenport, 52, started stealing free cakes while under the influence. He took 4 of the sweet treats and caused a big commotion since some people had been waiting in line for hours on end. When police confronted him, William apologized and said he'd been drinking, but the cops ran his name and saw that he had multiple warrants, so they arrested the cake thief. He was taken to the Allegheny County Jail and charged with theft by unlawful taking or disposition, disorderly conduct, and bench warrant. Number 2, Tractor. In 2014, a 37-year-old Alabama man may have set record levels of stupidity while driving his tractor around under the influence. And it's not like the man just drove it down some country back roads. Nope. Bobby Prince drove his giant tractor over 6 miles or just under 10 kilometers to his local dollar store. He was hoping to buy some more cheap liquor. Thankfully, the cashier at the store noticed how intoxicated he was and wouldn't sell him anything. After getting refused, Bobby walked right outside the store, fell down on the sidewalk, stood up on wobbly legs, and then got right back on his tractor. But he wouldn't make it home just yet. The store's cashier saw how out of whack he was and called the police, telling them about the strange man. When cops caught up with Bobby at the store, he had no shirt on, and they could tell he'd been drinking. He wasn't given a DUI, but he was arrested. Bobby was held at a local county jail until his buddy was able to bail him out. Remember kids, don't drink and operate farming equipment. Number 1, bragging rights. In March 2022 in Philadelphia, a woman named Jayana Tanae Webb was bragging online about her habits with alcohol and getting drunk, saying in her tweet, quote, "If you ask me, I'm the best drunk driver ever," end quote. Later that same week, the 21-year-old was involved in a serious car accident. and as a result of the crash, 2 state troopers and 1 man were killed. Apparently, drinking and driving isn't as cool as Jayana thought. She was allegedly drunk at the time her SUV rammed into the 2 young policemen as they were assisting another civilian on the highway. The cops, Martin F. Mack and Brandon T. Sissa, responded to a call that a civilian, Oliverius, had been walking on the highway into the lanes. While helping him, Jayana hit them so hard that all 3 died on the scene. On further investigation, Jayana's blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit, and she was quickly arrested with no chance of bail. No one is good at driving while under the influence. No one. Thanks for watching. Which one of these crazy drunk arrests did you find the funniest? Have you heard of any others? Tell us about them in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time on The Bad Badger.